Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spill the G podcast with your host, G. Oh my god, I just had a bit of a meltdown about the lighting. It's getting so dark, and it's not even that late in the day, and I'm so stressed. The lighting looks terrible, but hopefully it's alright. I've got this like ring light going on, and I'm hoping no one from the flats opposite the road can see him because it does look a little bit looks a bit little sus. I need to get like softbox or something because I feel like the ring light is quite harsh on the eyes. I'm not gonna lie. I guess that's what we have to deal with in these wintry months. Speaking of wintry months, we're getting to that magical time of the year. I'm actually buzzing. I do love Christmas. I really do. And I think as well because my birthday is literally a couple of days before Christmas. It's all wrapped in one. All wrapped in one. It's a big time of the year for me. Birthday, Christmas, New Year. Best time of the year. Although I did really used to hate having I still kind of hate it. It doesn't bother me as much now. But when I was younger, I used to get people that would say, oh, here's your joint birthday and Christmas present. And that would really, really annoy me because I'm like, if my birthday was in June, I would be having two presents. You know what I mean? I'd be having a present for my birthday in June and then a present for Christmas. But now I'm just getting one because I'm so close to Christmas. But yeah, I don't actually mind it. Like, in some ways, people are more likely to want to go out and do something because it is Christmas. But then on the other hand, people are skint. I've had people are like, yeah, we can't come out for your birthday. Like, it's literally just before Christmas. So I need to save money, which is just poor effort, really, isn't it? Fake friends, they are. But also, as well, me and my best friend Carly, her birthday's just after Christmas and mine's just before. So we tried to do like a joint birthday before and it just went terribly. It was so difficult to organize. Like everywhere was booked up as well with like people having Christmas parties and everyone just ramps up the costs for everything. So I think we ended up doing something, but I don't think it was what we thought it was going to be. I think we ended up in like a karaoke bar, which was fun, but I think we had really high expectations of going to all these different places. I think even we asked if we could have like a boat party. A boat party in December is wild, right? I don't know what our thought process was there. But yeah, it just got so difficult to like manage like who was coming, who wasn't, and the cost was just getting higher and higher. And I was like, this is just not worth it. It's our birthday and we're dropping like at this point it was like 700 quid on a boat, and I was like, I'm sorry, we're not doing that. So, but yeah, this year I don't really know what I'm doing for my birthday this year. I think I might try and do something, but I haven't organised anything yet. I just can't be arsed with the ag. Maybe I'll just do like a bottomless brunch. Everyone loves a bottomless brunch. I certainly do. But I am really bad at drinking drinks quite quickly. Maybe I'll do a bottomless brunch. But yeah, like seeing as though when's this video going out? So it'll be I don't know when this video will be coming out, but it'll probably be like close to the end of November. Have we all got our decorations up yet? When is the appropriate time to put your decorations up? Like a lot of people I know, they do it straight after Halloween, which is crazy to me. I don't have my decorations up yet. It's not like as if I do a lot anyway. I'll put a tree up. Put a few like Christmassy ornaments, but I don't go all out. But yeah, when is the appropriate time to put it up? I reckon because when I was younger, we would always put our decoration up after my birthday. So my birthday would be on the 22nd, and then we'd be putting it up on the 23rd or 24th of December. We'd be putting the tree up. And everyone thought that was crazy, but that was just like normal to me. And I don't know whether I think my parents did it because I like to kind of separate my birthday from Christmas. So yeah, I'm thinking decorations up on the 6th of December. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Once the tree is up, though, that's when the excitement starts. So I've actually got a bit of a life update for you all. You're all gonna laugh, but I'm actually halfway through my application for Deal or No Deal. I Look, right? It was either Deal or No Deal or Big Brother. And I was thinking, would I be allowed back to my job after Big Brother? Maybe not. Deal or No Deal? Who watches Deal or No Deal these days? And also, I'm more likely to win some money if I go on Deal or No Deal. I can only win money if I win Big Brother, which is it's quite a big ask, that. But yeah, this could be the start of my TV career. Part of me genuinely thinks like if I apply for it, like I will I will get on. Is that me being Delulu? Like, I genuinely think like they would pick me to go on. The thing is, right, I'm definitely the type of person, but I just know it's one of those shows, you know, when you watch it when you're at home and you're thinking, why did they make these decisions? Like, why are you being so stupid? But I guess when you're there, it's probably really different. It's probably really different, and you probably are not really thinking like the way you would if you were watching it at home. If that makes sense. But I always get like so frustrated watching it. I'm like, why? Why have they done that? Why would you do that? I'm not, and I think I'm quite sensible. I don't think I'm much of a risk taker. Like, I think I am pretty sensible. But I could be winning what? Like, the highest is like, what is the highest on there? Is it £100,000 or £250,000? I can't even remember now. I only watched it the other day, but wouldn't that be great? I can already picture it now. Banker ringing me, you know, me sweating, panicking. But then I finish the game, £100,000 richer. I see it. I see it in my future, guys. I just know this is going to happen. So I need to finish off my question. But they're hard questions. I'm not gonna lie. It's obviously they want people on there that are like got something about them, like got a bit of a story about them. So I'm really like racking my brains of like what can I say? You know, what can I say about myself? So and they ask you questions like I'm pretty sure one of the questions is like, oh, how do your friends and family describe you? And I might have to get one of my friends to give me some prompts of what to say in that question. But I think my game plan in there would just be like just go in there. You know, people are like, I've got a list of numbers that I want to take out first. I'd just be going left, right, and center. I'd be like, you. It'll just be all bit all over the place. But I feel like that's the way you win. I think if you think about it too much, that's when it, you know, the luck doesn't play into your favor. Look, I'll let you know if I get through to Deal or No Deal. Deal or No Deal, yeah? I'm coming for you. I also think as well, because I'm young, like, they'd want me on there. They want the youth on that TV show. And here I am. Look. Oh. What else has happened to me this week? Do I look really young to everyone? I think I look young, but let me get into the story and then I'll explain. So I went into Tesco. I was buying a few things, but one of the things I was buying was paracetamols. So I get to the self checkout, scan it all through, all fine. Gets to the end, obviously it's flashing, you know, that I'm buying a product that is age restricted, right? Age restricted, yeah, you need to be 16 to buy paracetamols, right? This lady comes over and I've got my headphones in. Like she's saying something to me and I pull my headphone, I'm like, oh sorry, what? And like, she's like, have you got any ID? I was thinking, all right, enough for the attitude, right? Let me get my ID. Chill the fuck out. I didn't say that, but that's what I was saying in my head. Got my ID out, gave it to her. And then when I gave it to her, I was like, what am I buying actually? Because I'm not actually buying alcohol, am I? I'm buying paracetamol, so why did you need my ID? Surely I look over 16. She's looking at it for ages. And she's like this. I'm thinking, oh my God. And then she's like wiping her finger over the top to see if it was, to feel if it's a real ID. I was thinking, oh mate, come on. All I want is a bloody paracetamol. I was like, hun, I've literally just got period pains and I just need some paracetamol. It's really not that deep. Then she's like, yeah, okay. Then I paid for all my shopping. Got to pick up my stuff and I was like, shit, I haven't got my tote bag. Where am I going to put all this stuff? Turned round and I go to grab a bag for life. She stops me. The same woman stops me and she's like, did you pay for this? And in my head, like now I think back, I should have just said, yeah, I did. But I was like, oh no, sorry, forgot. And she went, well, you can't have it then. They're 10p to buy. I thought, oh, come on, love, it's 10p. I said, oh, all right, okay, can I pay for it now? Because in my head I was thinking, I'm just gonna like grab it and then put my stuff and then walk out. I'm not gonna pay for it. I was like, oh, can I just like buy one now? And she was like, no, you can't. You should have bought it when you were scanning the rest of your items. I thought, what an absolute job's worth. What do you mean I can't have a bag? I was like, just give me the bloody bag. Then I just turned round and grabbed all my stuff, and then I made sure I was overly struggling, so she felt bad. And I was like putting all this stuff, and I was like, carrying all my shopping out. I had to walk all the way home then with the shopping in my arms, just because she wouldn't let me buy a bag. What was her issue with me? She had an issue with me, and I'm not having it. One absolute job's worth. You're not going to get fucking fired for it. Also, you're not going to get an award for not giving it to me. So just give it to me. It just pissed me off. I just thought, do you know what? I ain't got time for people like you. Get a grip. Get a life. Who loves that? Who takes their job that seriously? Come on, love. It just wound me up. I couldn't believe it. I come home and I was so angry walking home. I don't know why I get so angry over these little things. I think this is like a common theme that I just need to I need to chill out, I think. But I was really angry and I got home and I was telling Jamie, I was like, I had the cheek of it. The cheek of it that she wouldn't even let me buy another one. Do you know what I mean? Fair enough, okay, she's not gonna give it to me for free, whatever. But she wouldn't even let me buy one. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But it is what it is. Won't be forgetting my tote bag ever again. But talking about getting ID'd, actually got another story I just thought of, which is also like a really random situation. When I must have been like 18, 19. I drove my car. I drove my car up to the petrol station, right? I fill my car up with petrol. I go in then to the kiosk to pay, and the man the man at the till, he goes, ID? I was thinking, what? I think he means club card. Like a dickhead, I showed him my club card and he looked at me, he was like, no, I need your ID, love. And then I was like, right, but you've literally seen me drive up to the petrol pump, put petrol in, and now you're asking me for ID. Clearly, I'm old enough to drive and own a car. How come I'm not old enough now to buy petrol? Doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. I had to give the guy my ID. And he looked at my ID and he was looking like this. And he went, yeah. I said, well, what a bloody hope so. It's my bloody driver's license and I've just bloody driven up to the bloody pump. I just got out from driving my bloody car. So weird, right? Job's worth, isn't it? Absolutely. And again, that was Tesco. Maybe Tesco just employ bloody weird people that take their job a bit too seriously. But yeah, so I should maybe be quite grateful. That means I just look young. I'm looking youthful and fresh face. What else has happened to me? Oh, big stories. I think I told you maybe in the last episode that I was going to Amsterdam and that I was flying on my own. Well, like I said, everything happens to me. Everything, if anything bad is going to happen, it's going to happen to me. And so all week I was stressing, really, really stressed about flying on my own. I am a really anxious flyer. The night before, I made sure I had everything ready, everything prepared, whatever. I get to the airport and everything's fine. Everything's fine. I'm like, Georgia, you can do this. You can do this. And one of my biggest stresses about flying is going through airport security, because I might have explained it in my last episode, but I always get stopped. I'm always getting stopped. Without a doubt, I'm getting searched. And did it happen? Yes, it did. Of course it happened. To be fair, I was being a bit of an idiot. I obviously got to the where you put your stuff in the boxes, took all my stuff off, took my coat off, I even remembered to take my belt off. But the one thing I didn't remember was to take my phone out of my pocket. As I'm queuing up to go through the body scanners, I realised, oh, my phone's in my pocket. I managed to put my phone on its own in this box to go through by itself, and I thought, I was really stressed about that, and I was thinking, God, this queue needs to be going quick because I need to make sure that I'm there for when my phone comes out. went into the body scanners, obviously got flashed. I thought, tell me something new. And I had docks on, my dock boots as well. So I was thinking, oh, she better not ask me to take off my boots now because I just can't be asked. It's just something I just don't need. If anybody has docks, they just understand how hard it is to get them on and off. And I just thought, I can't be asked to take these docks off. Luckily, she didn't ask to take my docks off, but she did like pat me all down. And she said, you're fine. And I raced to the end of the conveyor belt. And luckily, my phone is just coming through. I grabbed my phone and I could see my coat and my belt as well in another box. And I'm like, where's my bag? Where's the box where my bag is? And I look across and it's in the queue to get manually searched. I thought, why does this need to happen? I put my belt and my coat on, and then I go in the queue then to wait for my bag to be searched. And it was literally the most pointless thing. The airport security man is like, whose bag is this? I say, it's mine. He opens it, and he's like, is it alright if I go through it? I said, yep, whatever. He like pulls a couple of layers of clothes and then puts it down. He said, yeah, that's fine. I was like, what was the point in that then? You barely looked inside. I could have a whole bomb at the bottom of my bag and you just didn't bother looking at it. But then I thought, right, I've got my bag back. Hopefully now it's smooth sailing, right? I was still a bit nervous about the flight, but I thought I've overcome the first big hurdle. I can do the rest, easy. I'm thinking now I can't remember what time I got in there. I got through security, but it didn't take me too long. It didn't take too long. I think it took about 20 minutes. I'm thinking, I got over an hour basically now in this airport. What am I going to do? I went to buy some snacks and some water. And then I thought, I just go and get a drink. And then hopefully my gate information will be up by then. So having a drink, having a good time. But I couldn't really do anything else. I just had to sit there because I was so anxious. I couldn't even read my book. I opened my Kindle and I read a couple of pages, but then I had to go back and read it again because I was reading it, but I wasn't taking it in, if that makes sense. I just had to really just sit there and people watch, which is fine. I don't mind doing. Gate information comes up. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to go straight to my gate. Just be there prepared so I don't have to rush. Get to the gate and I'm like, I don't know, I think I'm like the third person in line and sat by the gate now just waiting. All these people are coming in. I look then on like the EasyJet app. And at this point, I think the flight was taken off 7:45, right? And Amsterdam's only like an hour flight, but is also an hour ahead. So I was going to be there at 9:45 Amsterdam time. This app is telling me I'm going to be arriving in Amsterdam at 12:15. I'm thinking, that's not right. Surely. What are we going to be doing? Circles in the sky for 2 hours? Why is it such a delay? Because, we're clearly all allowed to board the plane because we're all waiting at the gate. In my head, I'm thinking, that must be wrong. Anyway, we got on the bus to get to the plane itself. And we're in the bus and I could hear a few people saying the same thing, like being like, oh, what is saying 12:15? We're not going to get to Amsterdam until 12:15. And we're now having to wait on this bus for 20 minutes. One of the air hostesses comes onto the flight then and is like, very sorry, but we're taking you all back to the gate because the visibility is so bad in Amsterdam. We can't take off. I thought, right, great. In my head, I was thinking, God, it must be quite a while. And if we're going all the way back to the gate, we must be having to wait a really long time. We get to the gate and I ask someone, I'm like, oh, so when do you think we'll board again? And at this point, it's like 7:20. He says to me, he goes, around 9:15. 9:15. Right, okay. 9:15. I thought, That's fine. It's really not. Like, it's really inconvenient, especially when you're on your own and you are so anxious for flying anyway. I went back then to the bar, had like a few couple of Prosecco's. But again, like, I literally had to raw dog those 2 hours or whatever. Well, it ended up being 3 hours in the end. But I had to raw dog through, I basically raw dogged 3 hours of waiting because I was so anxious. And like I said, I couldn't do anything else because I was thinking so much about the plane. And it was just terrible. It was terrible. And it's like I didn't have anyone to speak to. It was really, really sad, to be honest. It was really, really sad. And the thing is, right, I think I've only had like one plane, which has been like May. I didn't even think it was that long. Maybe it was about the same amount of time delay. But when we were flying home from Crete, we had a really long delay. But any other time, it hasn't been like a 2-3 hour wait. And the one time I'm on my own, I get such a long delay. Then I was just so annoyed about it. I was just so annoyed, but I thought, what else could go wrong? Well, you just wait. So then eventually we board the flight again. Everything's fine. I sit in my seat. So I'm sat by the window and there's two seats next to me are free. I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll be sat on my own. But then I looked across and I could see the row next to us was also free. So I'm thinking, oh, that's going to be a big group, isn't it? It's going to be one big group of people. Sat on this flight for quite a while, and then we get these stragglers coming on. And of course, these stragglers are a stag group, and they've had an extra, 3 hours to drink, and they sat next to me. I just thought, can anything else go badly? And this stag group, I think if it was any other normal flight, like, I wouldn't have been bothered, right? Because I've just had such a stressful morning. I just couldn't be asked. I genuinely couldn't be asked to be sat next to them. And they were quite rowdy. And the guy next to me, he'd never flown before. This was his first time ever on a plane. So he was scatting out. I'm a nervous flyer anyway. It wasn't making me feel any better. And he just kept asking questions about everything. There would be like a noise and he'd be like, what's that? What's that? And I was thinking, oh my God, you literally, this is not helping me at all. Can we just all shut up? And I'm sticking my headphones in, but I can still feel him fidgeting. And once we're in the air, he's now like calmed down. And now he wants to take photos of the sky. And I'm sat by the window. He's like leaning across me with his phone, taking photos and videos. I just thought, if the plane goes down now, I don't think I would mind. I've had such a shit morning. I'm so over this. Like, I genuinely am so over it. I'm exhausted as well. Touchdown in Amsterdam, and obviously, because there's been poor visibility and so many planes weren't able to land in Amsterdam, there's a backlog now of planes. We're on the plane for another 45 minutes waiting in queue to be able to park up and get off the plane. I wouldn't have that much patience for it on a good day. But with everything that's happened and being sat by a rowdy group of boys, I was so over it. I genuinely was so over it. But anyway, I made it into Amsterdam and it was all fine, to be fair. I'm not very good at using public transport in this country, let alone in a different country. But it's all quite easy in Amsterdam. I've done it before. It's not that deep. But yeah, and obviously the train station's basically in the airport. It was all fine. And I got to my hotel and I think it's because I've been so anxious all day. I was honestly like genuinely exhausted. So then I had like a 20-minute nap and then just went on with my weekend and had a really good time. And the flight back was so much better because obviously I had someone with me. So that was all fine. But yeah, I had a really good time in Amsterdam. I did drink a lot of alcohol there. And I did go to this party, which was open bar. And if it's free drinks, you've got to make the most of it. But you had a really, really good time. Always like Amsterdam. I think it's just a easy breezy place. Did a lot of shopping. I did think I was going to go there and I was gonna buy loads of Christmas presents for everyone. I didn't buy one single Christmas present for anyone, but I did buy many Christmas presents for myself. To me, from me. But you gotta treat yourself every now and again. But yeah, at least we're back safe, back in Bristol. We're safe because flying it is scary. It is scary, and like Jamie always says to me, he's like, "You're more likely to die on the way to the airport than you are being on an aeroplane." But I just don't believe that. It's not the fact that like I could possibly. It's just it's a more unknown experience. Do you know what I mean? Okay, well, I walk past cars all the time. I get into a car all the time. But you know what? You catch a couple of flights a year. It's more of an unknown, scary experience. That's why I'm nervous. But all safe. And I don't know when my next holiday is going to be. I haven't booked anything. I think I need to get something booked in. I really want to go somewhere like really, really hot next year. I'm thinking big. I'm thinking dream place would be. I really want to go to Mauritius or somewhere like that. Somewhere on that sort of vibe. But that I think that might be wishful thinking. Jamie, if you wanna take me to Mauritius, then feel free to do so. Do you know what? Because I know I thing is I say these things because I know Jamie actually watches this. I don't know if everybody else watches it all the way through, but I know Jamie does. So at Jamie Galloway, book a holiday, please. See, I am being polite. I'm saying please, please, please. Also, I'm trying to get Jamie on the pod. What do we all think about that? I think we'd end up getting a divorce. Not a divorce. We'd end up breaking up after it. But Jamie, you need to be sat right here. I don't even know how the dynamic would work, actually. We'd have to share this blanket. But yeah, maybe I should get him sat by you. Because do you know what it is? It is quite hard to speak to yourself. I don't actually think people realize how hard it is to speak to the camera and you've got no one else to bounce back and forth with. It is quite difficult. I feel like this is a pretty good skill to have. Be able to talk to yourself and the camera for a half an hour or whatever it is. Oh, speaking of Jamie, actually, we actually went to a magic show. We went to see a magician this week in where did we go? Oh, Zed Alley. I don't know if anybody in Bristol knows where that is, but yeah, we saw a magician, and his name was Scoop Magic, and I went in there, and I think when he first started, it's kind of a bit. He uses a bit of like comedy in his magic in his show. When he started, I did think, oh, I did judge him a little bit and think, oh, this is gonna be a bit naff and a bit shit. But honestly, it was amazing. Like genuinely so good. He did so many good tricks where I was like, I generally don't know how you did that. He had this Rubik's Cube and he got someone up on the stage and asked this lady to mix up the Rubik's Cube. And she was like mixing it for like ages and just it was properly mixed up. And when she was finished mixing it up, he grabs another Rubik's Cube, and this Rubik's Cube that he picked up was mixed up in the exact same way as what this girl had done, if that makes sense. All the different colours were the same on this one that he just picked up. Isn't that mad? And then he was talking for ages, like, and he like it must be like a sleight of hand and distracting people, but he was talking, and then all of a sudden, the Rubik's Cube this girl had been mixing up was completed. He'd completed the Rubik's Cube. I don't really know how it happened, but all of a sudden, this Rubik's Cube was done. Maybe he just got another Rubik's Cube from somewhere else, but it was crazy. I was like, whoa, I was taken back by that. He also did this thing where he had two people up on stage and had them sat down on the chair, and then they couldn't get up from the chair. They were stuck to the chair. These people just couldn't get up. Well, I don't know how he did that. And then he picked me to do a trick. He said, write down a fruit on this piece of paper. And he looked away and I wrote down what fruit And he kept saying to me, make sure it's not a lemon. I was thinking, oh, is he playing mind games with me now? But anyway, the first fruit that came into my head was watermelon. The first fruit I thought of was watermelon. And then he did like this whole thing and he had this scrunched up bit of paper and he unraveled the paper and it had watermelon on the piece of paper. So he read my mind. Part of me was like, oh, let me put pineapple down. But I think I played into his game by saying watermelon. I don't know. But he read my mind and he got it right. But yeah, it was a bit weird. I felt a bit weird after it though. I don't know if it was just me being like over dramatic. I don't know if that's just me saying that, but I just did feel a bit weird, a bit like in a daze after it. But who knows? But yeah, he was really really good, and I do really like magicians, and Jamie absolutely loves magic. When I bought the tickets to that, he was gassed. He was so gassed about it. But definitely, honestly, have a look out for Scoop Magic because he was really good. He did a lot with like fire as well. He did this really weird thing. Oh, it's actually gross. He had this like long balloon, like the balloons you make animals out of, and he put it down his throat and swallowed it. Like it was blown up, and he put it all the way down his throat. And then he did like a good 20 minutes of the show, and then all of a sudden he started going like this, and everyone was like, "What's going on?" He pulls this balloon all the way back out. It'd been in him for like ages. I don't know how he did that when I thought that was gross. But he did like loads of tricks. We were there for like 2.5 hours, something like that. He did pack in a lot of tricks. But yeah, I'm always blown away by magicians. I think I'm quite like an easy target as well because I'm so like in my own world. It's quite easy to do sleight of hand tricks with me because I don't know what's going on half the time. But yeah, we had a really good time. But yeah, definitely look out for Scoop Magic because it was really good. I give him a 10 out of 10. But yeah, that's all we've got time for. With Amsterdam and then the magic show, I had a pretty jam-packed week. I hope you've enjoyed the episode and make sure to follow me on my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. I am trying to still figure out how to upload things onto Spotify. But just so bear with me on that. Thanks all so much. See you all next week. Bye.